Welcome to Ancient Games. I'm your master of ceremonies, the Silver Ketchup. Today we'll be looking at a game that is obscure on the internet. What would that be? Well, the Star Wars Millennium Falcon CD-ROM playset from 1998, of course. While it may at first look like some sort of toy or whatever, it's actually a computer game. Now, I can think of no better way to introduce it than with the commercial.
You can feel the power of the Force on your PC like never before. The Star Wars Millennium Falcon CD-ROM playset. It's a whole new way to control the action. The fate of the galaxy is in your hands.
Fire!
And it all comes to life.
Yes!
With scenes from the Star Wars trilogy.
Come on, Chewie, get us out of here! Jump into hyperspace!
The Star Wars Millennium Falcon CD-ROM playset. The galaxy will never be the same.
Whoa!
Comes with CD playset and Han Solo figure. All other figures each sold separately. Requires Windows 95 or higher.
You've gotta love these old commercials. I mean, it just looks like the most amazing thing ever, right? Just plop this beast on your keyboard and suffocate it, and then you can awkwardly push the seats in, up and down. I want one! Well, I got one. That's right, I'm one of the cool kids. I have very little memory of this game, actually. I mean, it came out when I was 3. I think I played it once, but I didn't understand it and never played it again. I have some sort of memory of a scene taking place in the Death Star trash compactor, but that's it. To me, it just became known as that game that sat in my parents' room underneath the TV, collecting dust. I guess it found its place there one day and was never moved for, I don't know, a decade maybe? It was finally moved to the basement though, so for this review I dug it up. Man, look at this honkin' thing. It's got buttons and levers and chairs. It's just too great. I mean, awesome. Now, first of all, you may notice that some of the pieces are missing. Han Solo came with it, but you had to get Luke, Chewie, 3PO, and R2 separately, which I didn't. The humans and the Wookiee would all sit in the seats, and the droids would stand on these two platforms. These would all act like buttons, like you push in the chair in order to play the game. Weird. This was problematic though, as the figures would easily fall off, so my parents just threw Han Solo in with the other toys. I'm pretty sure Han Solo was sold off in a garage sale because I can't find him anywhere in the basement. I did find these Pez figures though.
They're not the same!
He may be somewhere in the depths, but who really knows? Other than that, it's missing the turret gun on the front and also the ramp, which, you know, pointless. Now you're probably wondering how it works. My memory of this thing is so bad, I thought it used batteries. Nope. There are a total of 8 buttons on it, so whenever you push one of them, it makes a knob stick out of the bottom of the entire assembly. You see, you have to like strap it around the keyboard and line up the knobs with the keys. I think this is why I never played the game. As a kid, I didn't want to spend the 2 minutes to set all this crap up. The set also assumes that your keyboard will match to the playset, and keyboards come in all shapes and sizes nowadays, so this sort of thing probably wouldn't work too well now. But you don't even need the thing anyways, as so long as you know what keys to press. I actually thought this was a unique thing, but apparently there was some sort of Tonka game with the same idea.
I've never seen anything like it in my whole life.
Introducing the Tonka Workshop CD-ROM playset.
Whatever I do with my tools happens on a screen. The hammer usually hammers. Boom, boom, boom. And
But let's talk about how obscure this game has become. Through research, I found very little about it. I mean, I found that commercial, but that's pretty much it in terms of video. It wasn't even on YouTube. If you search for it on YouTube, you get less than 100 results. M. Matha Bay is the only, I repeat, the only person on YouTube who has posted a video about this game. I guess that makes me the second now. If you take a look at his videos, you will see that this game is just about the only thing on his channel. I love how he just decided one Saturday, you know what? I'm gonna upload 88 videos of this game today. Most of them are only 5-second clips that would play before the levels, but some of them are other clips like the intro and the credits, and some are repeating clips that you'll find throughout the game. but none of them are like pure gameplay per se, because if you want gameplay, all I found were these 5 photos. The actual game has a mini version of the playset in the bottom left corner, like in order to tell you what button to push and all that stuff. I only found 3 pages online that talked about the game, and only one of them were a review. There's some sites that acknowledge it exists, or it may be for sale or something, but that's about it. It doesn't even have its own Wikipedia page. I'm pretty sure there are plenty of games that are obscure like this, but the fact that it's from 1998 and it had a commercial makes it pretty unique, I think. So here's the actual CD container, for ages 5 and up. Hang on, let me check my chest hair here. Yep, I think I'm old enough. It's always fun to check the system requirements. What, 16 megabytes of RAM and 30 megabytes of hard drive space? Gee, oh man! It must be like a simulation of the universe or something here. Okay, set up an installation. Start Windows 95. Yeah, no. And you know, I would have still made this review and just end it right there, but to my utter surprise, the game actually worked on XP. Now, let me tell you, compatibility is a huge issue with the older games I own. There are stacks and stacks of games that just won't work anymore from this era. So, believe me when I say, it's amazing that it's working. So get ready to see what would appear to be the only video review of this game on the entire internet.
It is a dark time for the Alliance. The Imperial Death Star is almost complete, and Rebel forces still cannot locate the plans. Unless they locate these plans, the Emperor's ultimate weapon will become a reality. The rebellion will be crushed, and Imperial forces will rule the galaxy.
So then they show you how to set it up, and well, you know, it does fit on this one keyboard I have. I won't be playing it on this computer, however, and I'll just be pressing the keys myself. I know, I'm lame.
Favorite Star Wars characters: Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Chewbacca, C-3PO, and R2-D2.
But only if you get suckered into buying them separately.
The Star Wars Millennium Falcon CD-ROM playset.
Bow to its might, peasants!
Greetings, young rebel. Your mission is to find the 3 parts to the Death Star plan. I cannot tell you much. The plans could be anywhere, on any world, and hidden in any object imaginable.
Well, that narrows it down. By the way, I like how they got this random actor. He's the only original character in this game. Like I mentioned before, he's there to give you a 5-second introduction to each mission and give you updates on your progress.
Train with Yoda to learn the Force.
I'm sure this role is on the top of his resume. So you start off floating in space, and from here you can access everything in the game. Not that it matters to you, but since I'm playing without the playset, I had to figure out the controls on my own. Here's the guide that I came up with. If you press the hyperspace key, it'll play a clip of you traveling at light speed. There is literally no purpose to this. The red button will take you to the inventory screen, but more on that later. Finally, the blue button will take you to a map of the planets you can explore. There are 7 different planets: Tatooine, Yavin 4, Hoth, Bespin, Dagobah, Endor, and the Death Star. There's a total of 21 missions, with one of them being locked off until you get all 3 of the Death Star plans. It's completely random where the plans are going to be, though. I had to do all but one of the missions until I found all the plans. You do theoretically have a 0.08% chance of finding them all in the first 3 missions. That's right, I'm a nerd and I skipped 6th and 7th grade math. What are you going to do about it? Anyway, let's do one of the missions. Let's say Jabba's Palace. On the way to and from each mission, it'll play that lightspeed cinematic, which got pretty annoying.
Jabba's Palace, home to the notorious Jabba the Hutt. Anyone who enters takes their life in their hands.
So most levels work like this. It will show you clips from the actual Star Wars movie, and periodically it will call for you to press a button for one of the characters to do something, but half of the time it's just going to be Luke. In a way, I guess it's just all one big QuickTime event. Because I didn't use the playset, I was kind of at a disadvantage not being able to remember which button is which in time. Not that it matters though, you cannot lose at this game. If you miss one of the cues, it'll just rewind and play over and over again until you get it. This makes the game often very jittery and strange because of this. Probably because a movie doesn't translate well into a game. At least not in this very literal way, anyway. Basically, what you'll want to do for every level is wait for the red icon to appear. That's your cue to press the red button. If you do it in time, you'll get the item, and if you're lucky, it'll be one of the Death Star plans. If not, it'll be something in the inventory screen. It acts as a sort of encyclopedia of random Star Wars things.
Gamorrean Guard. Green-skinned with pig-like snouts, small horns and tusks. The Gamorreans are a violent, brutish species.
But after you get the item, there's no reason to stay in the level, so you'll just want to use the hyperspace key and get out of there. It's kind of silly though, as some of the levels can only be 10 seconds long if you get the item in time. Well, got the item, time to get out of this loser place. The game will keep track of which missions you completed so far, so that's nice. During the levels you can press any of the character keys and hear their input on the situation.
We've got to do something. Here we go again.
I think we're in trouble.
But they're not very useful, so don't do that. Sometimes in the game it won't tell you which character is needed. The mini playset thing in the bottom left, it's just gonna flash and tell you, hey, press one of the characters, we're not gonna tell you which one. So yeah, just press every button until you find the right one. You may even have to press it more than once as well. I guess this would be the most difficult part of the game. It is for 5-year-olds though. Wait, check that chest here. Yep, still there. Now let's take a look at the trash compactor level, the one that I actually remember. I just really want to drive home how weird and awkward this game can be, so I'm going to show this level unedited. So I already got the inventory item, and I can pretty much just leave right now, but I decided to actually try and get all the way through the level. You'll notice this trash monster just keeps popping up again and again, even though I shoot it. Why won't you die? Finally.
Get away from there.
Now let's go to another
Your hyperspace has been interrupted by an asteroid field.
Yeah, sometimes these random events are gonna happen that block your way to a level. They can be pretty annoying, but you'll notice that it's actually not movie clips this time. That's right, there are some rail shooter levels in the game, and they have their own graphics. I know, it's crazy. Some of the actual missions are like this too, still having inventory items to collect. But these levels are way easier than the regular levels, I think. There's only one button to shoot, so just keep pressing that and you'll win. Some of them also will have the option to turn left and right at certain points, but it's not exactly a maze, so... I found out you can just use the hyperspace key to leave these levels immediately, so you don't even have to play them. I'm such a cheater. So yeah, this game covers everything you expect, like Luke training on Dagobah, the battle on Hoth, and the battle with Darth Vader. Honestly though, it's kind of disappointing in some respects. Take for example this scene you probably recognize. Could you believe they don't include the line, "Luke, I am your father"? I was sort of expecting it, but then I got the item and they're like, no, you don't get no Luke, I am your father. Get out of here. Also, the movie footage is from the re-release version, so you have to deal with dumb things like Greedo shooting first. It was Han! Han shot first! And this game is short. It only took me 45 minutes to beat it. Now I could easily see it taking 20 if you get lucky with the plans. Anyway, I got all the plans and now it's time to take on the Death Star.
We have analyzed the Death Star plans. There is a weakness. Use the Force, Release the proton torpedoes at the right time, and the Death Star will be no more.
But really, there's not much to say. It's just a minute-long rail scene through the trench. And then pop! No more Death Star.
The Force is with you. You are now Jedi Master.
And, yeah. Roll credits. So there you go, the Star Wars Millennium Falcon CD-ROM playset. An interesting little oddity in the Star Wars games lineup. Yeah, I'll admit it's not really that great of a game, but it's something worth mentioning, I think. And because no one else has, I'm going to have a link in the description to the full playthrough of the game. I whittled it down from 45 minutes to 35, just cutting out unnecessary filler, like all the countless light scene clips that they keep showing. I don't really expect anyone to watch it, but I might as well do the internet this service. There are so many games out there that have been uploaded to death, I'm just glad I can upload something that no one else has. I guess someday all games have to die and be forgotten. Take Skyrim as a random example. Sure, today it's very popular, but I imagine in 200 years no one's even going to care about it. But I'm not willing to let this game die just yet. So here we are, world. Here is our final look at the Star Wars Millennium Falcon CD-ROM playset. It no doubt left its mark on our world, however small, but it is time for us to move on. But do not weep, my children, for we must let go of the past to prepare for the future. In time, everything must go. Even the Star Wars Millennium Falcon CD-ROM playset with additional figures sold separately. Amen.